Time now for this hour's car review. I had a chance to drive the 2024 Chevrolet Equinox EV, built in Mexico. Comes in these trim levels, 1LT, 2LT, 2RS, 3LT, and 3RS. I had the EV 2LT. This is a small SUV EV. Seats 5. All new for 2024. We didn't have the 25 because they didn't have it in the press fleet yet, but they're the same. Trust me. Sharply designed EV, long and sleek, great-looking front fascia with slit peekaboo lighting up front, laid-back wind-cheating front glass, and low roof line gives it a fast appearance. Rear fascia is cutting-edge, too, with large sunshade over the rear glass. What I liked about it, everything. Designed in America all the way. Congrats to GM and Chevrolet. Interior highlights, materials and seat design is attractive, but really doesn't stand out. But, you know, considering the price, I'm sure that somewhere down the line they're going to have another high-end one with leather interior. Not just yet, though. Cup holders, phone charger, and HVAC controls all in the right places. Infotainment screen is the latest from GM. The layout on the dash holds instrumentation below the dash pad. It really is a nice layered look on that dash. Cargo room, average for this size SUV. What I liked about it, the dash design makes use of those controls, makes it really easy to use. No Apple CarPlay question mark. Why?
Yeah.
Because they're trying to go and steal all of that and make it a complete GM connection. Engine, front-wheel drive electric motor. If you want dual motors, you go to the all-wheel drive. 213 horsepower in this, 236 pound-feet of torque. This is not a rocket ship. This isn't one of those plaid Teslas. It's not that, but it is certainly plenty of power for this particular vehicle. Of course, direct drive transmission, 1,500-pound tow rating. In the city, you're going to get 117 miles on a charge, 99 on the highway, up to 319 miles is what it's rated for the single charge. I got 3.4 miles per kilowatt hour. You do the math.
No.
I went 347.6 miles. Trying to make it out to Jack Nerad's work, but I couldn't. I didn't quite make it. What I liked about it, I liked about the range. What could use improvement? Again, more power, but that leads to more cost, and we're going to get to that right now, as a matter of fact. What I liked about ride and handling, it's heavy, like a typical battery electric powered EV, but it is a dream to drive. What could use improvement? I'm not sure. Here's where the fun comes in. The base trim price on this really nice SUV EV that has a decent range, $41,900. Prices tested $45,995. Base model price, $41,900. Super Cruise is a $2,700 option. Do you really want it? Do you really need it? No. Competitors to the vehicle in base price and size, Hyundai Ioniq 5, $41,800. Ford Mustang Mach-E, $39,995. And I threw a Tesla in here just so you can get some comparison. Tesla Model Y, $44,990. So right there at about $40,000, and I think that that's pretty much of a bargain these days when it comes to the EVs because, you know, they can really go through the roof. How much is that thing that you're driving, Mars?
Nothing like that.
Mars got delivery of a Hummer.
Oh, no. Now, that's in the driveway. That's not the car I'm reviewing.
Well, how much is the...
I haven't even opened the door on that thing yet.
Oh, boy.
It got there late last night because it took a while to get it.
I'm thinking, yes.
250 miles down the highway.
Yeah, a couple of charge stops.
Two
charge stops to get it from Dallas to Neederville.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm thinking it's a six-figure vehicle, I think.
I would bet,
yeah.
But I'll let you know shortly.
All right. Well, I tell you what, I was impressed by this vehicle, and it takes a lot to impress me, and I'm not trying to brag or anything, but we drive a lot of new vehicles. We 52 of them a year.
You see them all, yeah.
And we do see them all, and some are okay, some are good. This one's great. Now, what Consumer Reports says about it, I don't know.
Story.
Yeah, it may be a different story, but we didn't do a long-term test on it. It was only for a week. It's all we get them.
Yep.
And we generally have the 500-mile limit on it, so 347 miles. I got a pretty good feel for
Yeah,
it, and I really did like it. Now I will tell you, I didn't have to take it to a fast charger because I plugged it in here at the house on the 110,
And then it worked.
and then it worked. So I always kept it right up there. I think it got down to about 60%. But I didn't drive it a day, so it managed to catch up to itself. So,
Well, I thought it was a good-looking car when it was sitting in the driveway.
Oh, it is.
Obviously, it needs to be. It needs to have an ice engine, but that's just my opinion.
well, they still make an Equinox with a gas motor in it.
They do.
But and it's called an Equinox, but it's not built on the same platform.
Right. Understood. Yeah.
So, at any rate. On the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show, time now for Jeff's feature of the week.
Here we go.
Pininfarina GT and Enigma.
Here you go. So what's going on here is it is an Enigma. This vehicle measures 14.8 feet long. It's 6.4 feet wide, 4 feet tall, and it is the Enigma GT. Standout features lie in its wheelbase. Just the wheelbase alone is 10 feet. It's the 2+2 interior with hydrogen fuel internal combustion engine, nestled in a central rear area, enhancing aerodynamics. Paired with an electric motor up front, this prototype boosts all-wheel drive traction for a sporty ride. But what it really catches is your eye. It's the unique cabin entry. While it may look like your standard scissor door setup, the entire roof lifts, offering an
and half the hood.
panoramic view for occupants. The Pininfarina hasn't revealed a new car. It has revealed everything. Check that out. The Italian coach builder with long list of chassis in their classic designs. The new entry is contemporary. It's a GT capable of blending unique characteristics. The dash and windscreen all lift as one, and once on board, you'll spot the OLED screen and aerodynamically inspired dash. Sustainable material choices augment the reality in the windscreen. There's lots of AI, of course, and lots of driver assistance, proving necessary considering the unique characteristics of the powertrain. The 2.5-liter V6 engine on board powered here not by petrol, but by hydrogen. Mike, the petrol is gas in your end. I'll just let you know.
Thank you.
The engine alone kicks out 435 horsepower and has but one job, the power the rear axle only. So you're only going to get the power from the engine, ICE engine, to the back. Powering the front axle is a 200 horsepower electric motor powered by a 10 kilowatt battery, which together gives the new Enigma, that's right, all-wheel drive, because that's what you want in it. It also features the lower the height of the bonnet, which is the front area of the vehicle, because the e-motors are smaller than the engine and thus the car with the optimum aerodynamic coefficient. So it's not too massive. The long wheelbase, the truth is fraction bigger than the BMW 3 Series, which should give you an idea of the size. It's not too heavy. The concept weighing in at around 3,726 pounds. So lots of expectation atop the streamlined physique. On one hand, it nods to the reimagined kind of car we all want to rediscover. We talked about that for auto shows. That's where they should be. So there you go. It's a very cool car. Hopefully they'll build it someday. I'm excited.
They ain't going to build it.
No, but it's something.
But it sure is
Pipe
nice
dream.
to look at.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, time now on the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show for this hour's car review. Mr. Mars driving the Buick Envista.
Woohoo! Everybody pay attention. This is
Yeah,
gonna be
pay
good.
attention. This is the 2025 Buick Envista. Comes in 3 trim levels. It comes in the Preferred, the Sport Touring, and the Avenir.
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 And we were driving the Sport Touring. Now, all trim levels are front-wheel drive. All-wheel drive is not available in this vehicle. Now, it's classified as a small station wagon. Now, in marketing terms, that's called a small SUV. Now, it seats 5 people. It's sculpted. It's kind of a sculpted car. Almost. It's one of those. It's not really a hatchback. It's not really a liftback. It's got a very sloped back to it. So, but the passenger area, the front passengers, In particular, it's very tall. It's got a lot of headroom in it. So it's kind of a tall car in that regard. It's got a great body color, the one we happen to be driving. The door handles were body color. It's got black trim all the way around it. It's got the thin design LED headlighting up front, daytime running lights, tail lights, turn, all LEDs. Now, it does have a manual lift gate on it. So that was kind of different concerning the things that we've been driving, but it's no big deal. And it does have the new logo up front. A lot of people noticed that. I'm not really sure why. It's basically the same one. They changed the coloring, but a lot of people really noticed that. We had the 18-inch black aluminum wheels, so it was a nice contrast.
The Tri-Shield logo.
Yes. One thing I did notice, I wanted to notice that on we were rolling, like I say, the 18-inch black aluminum wheels. The Monroney said we had a compact spare wheel, and we had a compact spare tire. Two different listings on the sheet. I'm not sure why.
A tire and a wheel.
And a wheel.
My
Had both
God,
of them.
I bet you they go together.
Well,
you think?
I don't know. But it was kind of unusual to read
No,
that.
they're separate. Here's both of them. Put them
You can
together.
buy one or the other when you buy the car.
That's it. Okay.
Had the leatherette seating trim. We had the optional front seats were heated. The rear seat is a 60/40 folding that folds down. The monitor that goes across the dash, it's actually two, but the way they've got it set up, it looks like one 19-inch screen across there. It's an 11-inch touchscreen that's got all your nav, your convenience controls, your infotainment system, but the driver out of that has an 8-inch driver information center right in front of him, but it kind of rolls together across the dash to look like one big one. The other thing I noticed about in the technology, it is Bluetooth, Apple CarPlay, Android, but the Bluetooth will connect two devices on Bluetooth. A lot of cars won't do that. So it's, you got your one, that's it. This one will do two. And it's got front USBs, rear USB charging only. One thing I liked about this particular thing, a lot of cars, particularly the last two EVs I've been driving, when I got out of it, I came back to it, I had to log back in my phone, log back into Apple CarPlay. This one, I got in, it found it. It's still in my pocket. I hadn't done anything. I hadn't even backed out of the driveway, and it found it, and I thought that was very intuitive on the part of the system. Under the hood, we had a 1.2
You're smart, Mike.
liter turbo 3-cylinder. 137 horsepower, 162 pound-feet of torque backed by a 6-speed automatic transmission. Now, this vehicle only weighs 3,060 pounds. EPA says you should get 28 miles to the gallon in the city. EPA
Nice.
32. Combined 30. Now, I drove 307.5 miles, and I got 30 miles per gallon average across
Nice.
that. It was really, and there was highway miles included. Now, I thought, to me, it had sportier handling than what you might expect from a Buick. It's not a race car by any means, but you could drive it around curves pretty good. Felt like you were really driving something.
Yep.
It's relatively quiet out on the road, even with a 3-cylinder that's got its own little noise to it, but it's nothing you can't live with. Just talk to somebody and everything's all good. So, but
Here's what the motor sounds like.
Hey, don't be dissing it.
Quite like that.
Yeah. Come on.
But all in all, I was very happy to be driving this vehicle. It was
I'm
very
glad you were
pleasant to
happy.
drive. Now, the base model on this is $23,700.
That's amazing.
Base trim price is $24,700. Now, as tested, $27,780.
Still nice.
Now, this includes a 6-year, 70,000-mile roadside assistance warranty and 1 year of free maintenance on that thing. Now, you're looking for something to compare it to. Chevrolet Trax starts at about $20,400. Mazda CX-30, $24,995. Kia Soul at $22,990. But the things that you're going to find in this vehicle, the little bit of technology that it's got, the way it works, the way it drives, I was really impressed with this vehicle. In fact, I showed it to two of my kids, my daughter and one of her granddaughters. When you get ready to buy a new car, you need to look at something like this for this price. Don't be out here looking at $50,000 cars straight out of college.
Yeah, because Daddy's going to buy that.
Yeah.
Or Grandpa.
Somebody. But I thought, I could see this being something that somebody coming out of college, a family just getting started, this would be a car you could buy, you could afford to buy it, make the payments, and you're going to get a nice vehicle out of it. It's got that Buick level of quality that in an SUV or a station wagon, excuse me, as your government calls it.
I love mine.
That's my review of the Buick Envista.
Thank you.
Look at it. Check it out.
All right, we're going to do that.
Mine's the Envision.
Today's more of the info.